Good morning. Welcome into the Reset Room. Happy Thursday. It is almost the end of a short week, and I am super excited. Not sure about you, but I know that I am. Welcome in. If you are new here, my name is Rhonda. I'm a career reset coach. Dream vacation. Gosh, I've tackled some of them, but probably Australia is probably my next one. That would be like totally the Australia. Listen, turn it on the backup. Welcome in, welcome in. My name is Rhonda. I'm a career reset coach. I feel like, what is that? Helping people change jobs, change careers, level up at work, get promoted, and get paid. And that is what I came on the app to do. It is almost 6 months ago now. And it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey, a good one. So what I do in my 9 to 5, because I still do that as well. I'm a chief HR officer and a chief operating officer for a nonprofit here in New York City. I'm based in New York City. And, with that, I just found like in my years of experience, so many different things. So for one, AI. So we can talk about like the advances of AI and how it is truly changing the world of work. And a lot of people are really dismissing it. Okay, Adam, you coming in the room hot this morning. I get that all the time, but actually I am 58 years young. Yes, I am 2 years away from not full-time retirement work, but moving back into consulting, which is part of too why I decided to come on the app when I did. Because again, just thinking about the advances in AI and technology, and they are moving so fast. Like I'm making decisions for my company about technology that we can bring in that will definitely replace some roles. And if it doesn't replace people, what it will definitely do, it might shrink some full-time jobs down to part-time jobs. And this is happening all over the country. And if you look at Japan and China, they are like light years ahead of the US. And this is real and it's happening. So I came on the platform for two reasons. One, to really make sure that people are aware so that they can prepare. Thank you so much. How I've done, how I've been able to do that and prepare is through digital products, courses, creating them. The beauty of them is that you create it one time and you sell it over and over again. Thinking about what it is you do best and what it is you do well. Like, what is that thing that people always come to you for? That is something that you can package into an offering. And I'll talk through some examples of how I've done that, like throughout my career. You can package what you do into a service. I just saw something yesterday for electricians, and I have a lot of friends that are electricians here in the city, like that their world is going to skyrocket with the advances of AI and technology. So that's going to be an area that is actually their work is going to double. So like I'm going to get with my friends over the weekends, like, listen, help them create their offers, hang up their little consulting shingles, their side gig shingles. Because again, they're just going to be needed because again, technology is what's going to replace, a lot of things that, work that happens, with our hands. And that's kind of the reality of the world. So in this room, we have been talking about doing all of that, talking about like even thinking about what you do on your 9 to 5. Is some of that, how do you, you can definitely, are you following the host? Are you following the host, Adam? That's one way. But also, if you, on my profile page, there is link you can get on my email list. There's email contacts and all the things, because this is a business. Hey, Almeek. TikTok is a platform, and if you're here, for fun, that's cool. But if you're here on the money side of TikTok, this is a business, and you need to treat it as such. And it's a platform. So think about what a platform is. A platform is something that you stand on to elevate. Use TikTok in that same way. This is exactly what it is. Hey, good morning. Glad to see you. Yeah, it's a platform and we need to use it as such. When I came here again with a lot of different goals. So even to like rewind the story a bit. Hey, good morning, and the lighting. Miss Tabulous, welcome in. We are talking about how we are going to prepare for the work world and the changes that we're going to see. And everything I talk about is not to scare anybody. It's so that we are prepared, that you have some extra revenue streams coming in the event that your job changes and shrinks. And some people think it's not going to touch them. Like, I'm in the nonprofit space. Most of our staff don't think it's going to happen to them because we work with people, and that part is true. But what's also true is that, guess what? If federal funding shrinks, and we receive lots of federal contracts and government contracts and state contracts, if that income stream shrinks, what also shrinks? The number of people that are going to work there. That's real. That's real, and that's what we're talking about here. It's like getting prepared. And I missed yesterday. I just was not feeling good. But what happened is Monday, I'm losing my days because of the holiday. Tuesday night, we co-hosted a conversation about women managers. So my most viral content on my page, it has more than 450,000 views, is about women managers and how for most of us, those experiences have not been good. And we co-hosted a conversation Monday night, which was amazing. It was great. Like, we had some folks, we do youth services here in New York City. Yeah, and we work primarily with homeless youth, or youth, if they're not homeless, they're threatening homelessness. This is a huge problem here in the city. Hey, hello, good morning. Welcome in. Thanks for joining in on this conversation. But yeah, like, if government funding starts to shrink, then guess what? That's what covers salaries. So that world, nobody's really going to be exempt. No one's going to really be exempt from changes that we'll see. And so for me, because of what I do for a living, I started preparing for Rhonda, almost 2 years ago. So this was October in 2024. Thanks, El Meek, for sharing the live out to all of America. Those of you too that are in the room, if you can tap on the screen and share out the live, what that does, if you're a content creator and this is what you want to do when you start your live, you want to encourage folks in the room to become active. If you did not know, TikTok is an algorithm. It's not a person. And so with any other computer system, the more data you feed it, it responds. So when the algorithm picks up, taps in the room, picks up shares, picks up comments, they're like, oh, there's some interesting things going on in there. And what happens is the algorithm will push the live out to more folks. So thank you, El Meek, for, like I said, sharing the live out to America. But yeah, like, when I saw, this was October of 2024, Oprah hosted a special with, it was ABC. And it was AI in the future of us. And what they talked about, of course, is all the technology advances. And probably the most fundamental part of it was towards the end. Bill Gates was one of the panelists, and she asked him, like, all this sounds great, but what does that mean for the everyday American? And, he was visibly uncomfortable. Like, and for me, I'm a body language person. I'm in HR. I do investigations all day. I'm going to read your body language before I'm listening to the words coming out of your mouth. And he's visibly uncomfortable. And he basically says, full-time jobs are going away. People will be working 3 days a week. And she's like, okay, well, how are people going to survive? Because in theory, right, that sounds great. Oh, yeah, okay. Our work week, we're going to shrink. We're going to work 3 days a week. Yeah, okay, well, who's going to pay us for the other 2 days? And that's what she asked. And what he said is that the government will have to step in to supplement the income of Americans. And so even when I heard it, it sounded kind of out there, like, I don't know is that really real? Fast forwarding to about almost 8 months later, how about I met someone, we've since become friends, who was a federal contractor who helped build that federal payment system. She was a federal contractor and helped create the federal payment system that will supplement the income of Americans. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe this this is a real thing and this is really happening. So we got to start get preparing. And selfishly, like I started thinking about myself. Like I know, like I've packaged my knowledge over the years and have been selling products and services, gosh, almost from probably like 10 years now. So I know that the rewards that it has given to me, and wanted to really come on TikTok to build a platform to do that, to expose, all of this knowledge to more people and to share it, but also to use it as a springboard, because you think about it, it's a platform and we need to use it in that way. And since then, I mean, it's been a wild journey. Like I started August 1st, grew my following to over the 10K in 2 months, got into the Creator Rewards program. I think I'm pretty good at content. Like I have many videos that definitely hit over the 1,000 views and some that are big viral, more than 10K. And the beauty of that, and not bragging, but the beauty of that, like I have one content that I posted maybe Thursday, so it's been a week. It is still moving. I've gained 1,600 followers from that one piece of content. So if you're really thinking about elevating and truly using the platform for what it is, you got to focus on that content. And that's what I did for 3 months. Like I didn't go live for 3 months. I just studied content. I was in classes, following big creators, following those with, millions of followers, millions of views. Folks that like every post that they, put out there, they have thousands of views on it, and really mastering content. And again, every video isn't 1,000 views, but I'll tell you a funny story. So last week I had a consultation with another big creator, because I'm all about learning and trying to master this thing. Oh, you love the one. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. I'm trying to grab it. There you go. Thank you for that, Miss Fabulous. Long Island, you out here too? I'm in Westchester. That closing interview question seriously has gotten me hired 3 times. In my current role I'm in today, I've been in New York City 13 years. I had one and only interview 13 years ago, 2013, and I am still working for that same CEO today with that question. And what was so interesting about it, we were at the end of the interview. And so, I started like, I'm clear about what the role needs. Let me ask you, like, if I'm hired, considering all the experience that I bring, like, how else can I help you? And how else can I help the organization? Guess what? We end up talking for another 45 minutes and I got the job. And 13 years later, so he's the CEO. This is our 3rd nonprofit in the city. So I moved with him. Also, again, thinking about value. So I talk a lot about that in my content, about branding yourself. It brings value to your day job, but guess what? It also brings value off of that platform, right? Work is a platform too. It's a stage, and others get to see you. And then it's an easy segue. I know I'm all over the place because all the thoughts are coming up, but it's a good segue. And I'll tell you, let me show you this. This is something that was a segue where my job was a platform and it led me to create something. So this is a management course that I created. Is it backwards for you guys? I think you can read it. Level Up Management Accelerator. So let me tell you how it was born. So this was organization, actually number 1. He had created a management program and it was okay, but I tweaked it. I took it, I tweaked it, I made it better. We got to organization number 2 and had realized that we had a ton of managers that did not have the management skills. And I revamped that course, taught it to we had at that time about 60 managers, trained everybody, gave them systems, language. They were performing. Everyone was doing well. Well, one of my boss's colleagues had heard about the course, how good it was, and asked if I would come. They were based in DC, if I would come to train his managers. And so when he asked me about it, that's when for me, the light bulb went off. I was like, wait a minute. I built this. I need this to be mine. I need to own it. And basically that was a conversation I had said to him. I'm happy to go to DC, but I need to own the course. It needs to be mine. And it became my company's at that time. I invoiced them. I took 2 days off from work. I went to DC, I trained them, and I made that $5,000 in 2 days. And since then, I continue to sell this course over and over again. I market on LinkedIn, which is a business platform. My profile is there. I reach out to folks, word of mouth all the time, and I continue to sell that course. So that's what we've been talking about here, is taking the knowledge that you have. And even if it's something that you gained and acquired at work, let's talk about how you can package that knowledge into an offering that, again, you create it once and you sell it over and over again. And this course, I'm still morphing and actually just built a new one. So we're at organization number 3 and realize that this course is too advanced for the current management team that we have here. There's 75 of them. So I basically had to, create the prerequisite to this, and which I just finished. I just finished building that. So now, it's built for work, but now I need to package it for the outside of work, because that's a new offering. So like this weekend, I'm updating my services page on my personal company's website to add this second course as a service offering too. So this is what we're talking about. So just to kind of, get a sense of everybody in the chat, like what's one thing that people always come to you for and ask you about? And we can talk through in real time, like how you can try to think about packaging that into some offering. It could be anything. Like some people are just like the advice folks in there with their family, with their friends. Some people are, health and fitness, wellness. Like my daughter's vegan. So of course, all of her friends want to know, like, how can I become vegan, fast? So like, guess what? What did her mother do? Of course, she created a product, how to make that transition in 30 days. Hey Sharon, welcome in. So you can actually, anything that you have in your head, you can package into an offering. Even like I call myself a career reset coach. I have reset and changed my career many times. And again, the system came naturally. I just figured out sort of what worked and have been doing it ever since. And same thing, like friends and family started coming to me. Gosh, this is probably going back to the 90s. I moved to Atlanta in 99. Yeah, so that's when I actually first did the first sort of reset. And in my family, like, they say I'm the one that's kind of out there, like I'm the rebel. I'm probably there are 2 of us that don't live in our hometown that we grew up in. We was like, it's too small. We out of here. But even with that was a career change. I was in banking before that. And I was like, and we were on the corporate side, so I wasn't in the branches or anything. But even with that, it's big business. And, my division was moving out to Denver. I was like, okay, we're in New York. I don't want to go nowhere where it's colder, for God's sake. We ain't doing that. Went south, changed industries, and that move really changed my life. Moved there and started actually working for owner operators. So these are folks that created their own companies. And there's just a level of grit, I think, that I find attractive, and just like hard work and grinding that I find attractive with owner operators. And I did that for, 10 years, and started my own consulting firm in Atlanta too. I was working. Person who hired me, we helped to scale the business. He sold it, moved on. We actually worked with a friend of his, started a tech company, same thing, grow it. In tech, you grow your software and your package to scale it and to sell it. Did that. And I went and took a job, and it was interesting. I didn't change anything. She decided that she didn't want any W-2 employees, and she was tired of paying rent. If you know anything about Atlanta, we were in Buckhead, where, rents are super, super expensive. And she decided, I don't want this. And part of it was because she grew her business like out of her spare bedroom in her house. So again, it's that grit and that grinding from owner operators. And I like soaked it in, like all of those years being there. And so she said, okay, if you want to stay, you figure out how you can. And so she helped to create this, like Figure out what work you enjoy doing, what you want to continue doing. Can you package that into an offering, and can you consult? And that's exactly what I did. And I started my company, and that was 2006. And even though there have been times where I may have worked a job, I've still always consulted, had projects, worked for other clients. Even my boss that I've worked for 13 years, a lot of my referrals come from him. He's like, hey, I got a friend who needs X, Y, and Z. I'm on it because he knows I'm still going to deliver for him. I'm still going to get my work done. But guess what? I'm going to get that check over there too. And that's what I came on the platform to teach, to really think about how you can do that. So think about some of those things. And I'm going to start walking through like what the steps are. So again, even if it's okay if you're a little shy, it's okay. You don't have to put in the chat, write on a piece of paper, a couple, even one or two things that people always come to you for. And I'm going to show you some examples too. That was just one. I'll share a story about my daughter. So my youngest, she's still in Atlanta. So she was working for a company during the pandemic, and they weren't, really taking the health precautions serious. And, I'm in New York. And so I'm a chief HR officer of our company. So like back then I had to give the daily COVID report in our senior management team meeting, because our job too was make sure that we kept not just our staff safe, but also our clients safe. And we're a big company, 350 employees. We have on average 2,000 clients in our building a day. So it's a busy, busy place. And that was part of my work. So when she was telling me about the things that they were not doing, I was concerned. And she was concerned for her own health. So she quit without a plan. And just as fate would have it. So think about it. It was the time everyone's stuck in the house. So this was during the pause in New York. And I don't know if every state was like this, but we were in our houses from March to June. So 3 months. Everybody's cleaning, organizing, cleaning out closets. A lot of people moved. Like the city's seen a huge exodus. I even left. I didn't leave in 2020 when the pandemic started. I left in 21 for 3 years and came back after. But yeah, like people were getting out of here. And she's in Atlanta, which is where, they grew up. And, she wasn't working. So a lot of her friends, their moms are like, can Jazz come help me do this, do this, do this? She learned, and she's always been creative. Like she paints, she draws, always had a good eye. Helping those people ended up turning into that she is actually great at organizing. And 5 years later, she is still a professional organizer. And went into a business for herself during that time. And, she markets on Thumbtack. So if you have that kind of skill set where more like hands-on work, like if you're, sort of office computer related services or things you do well, you can market those on like a LinkedIn. If you're more hands-on, you can think about a Thumbtack. But there's so many other places. There's Etsy. I'm a Peloton girly, so there's a lot of downloads. Like bike trackers, like the tracks I ride in a year. Like I always have a goal to ride 500 rides a year. And so like there's someone who created, it looks like a Peloton bike. Let me see if I can pull it up. It looks like a Peloton bike. She sells it for $2. She sold hundreds and thousands of those. So this is again, thinking about it. And anything can be that. It can be a budget planner, sort of whatever your thing is that you do well. You create that thing. And there's another woman on Etsy. I was trying to look for her, logging into my other computer over here. I can't think of what it is she sold, but it was 99 cents. It was a free download. She sold 1 million of them. You do the math. Yeah, it's amazing. And again, it's power. And then think about it. You can advertise them all over the place. This is a platform. FBs, the IGs, the YTs, all of them are platforms. There's places like Etsy, IU Stand Store. There's all sorts of places to do that. Let me see if I thought I took a screenshot of this download because I just want to show you how simple something like that can be. Yeah, here it is. Let me enlarge it. Come on, open up. The Surface Pro is moving kind of slow today. I got to get me one of those TV tablets. Okay, here we go. Let's See, I don't have no patience. So this is it. So it says 500 rides challenge. So she designed it in the picture of a bike, and it's numbers. So like each time you do a ride, if I'm doing 3 rides a day, I'll color in 3. So here's, let me enlarge it so you might can see what a colored in one kind of looks like. She sold these for $2. I mean, there's like 400,000 Peloton riders out there, and we all use the trackers. And so these are things that you can easily do to package. So like I said, this course I market to on LinkedIn and on my website. There are a lot of other courses that I created. I market on my Stand store. And you can do it too. So let's go back to the basics. A lot of people are like, a lot of people don't know, like, what is a digital product? And probably the simplest way I can use to describe it is really, it's taking some knowledge that you have, creating a tool that solves a problem, right? So for me, I know, particularly my management course, I market a lot to nonprofits, and here's why. So thinking about the problem I'm solving. So when I'm marketing to nonprofits, a lot of nonprofits don't have a lot of extra money to devote to training. Like even the 3 organizations that we've worked with since I've been here in New York, none of them had training departments until we came and created them. So that was the problem. You have all these staff, and they may be really great at working with clients, but no one has taught them how to be managers. And so that's the void, and that's the problem. And that still exists today. Like money is tight. And so, if you have $50,000, and yes, it would be nice to, want to spend that on training your staff. But if you can use that to feed people or house people, that's where you're going to put that money. And unfortunately, even with funding, a lot of funders, they don't want to fund staff training. And so for me, okay, there's the problem. So here I have the solution, and that's how you market it. So think about your digital product in that way. What's one problem that you have some information or knowledge about that you can solve? And it can be anything. Like, so my oldest is in Atlanta. She's a professional organizer. My youngest, I'm reversing that. That's my youngest in Atlanta. My oldest, she's doing some different stuff, but she still has a lot of knowledge in her head. So she's homesteading. She's a stay-at-home mom. So she works as a nurse on the weekend just to, keep up her skills and her license. But she's home during the week. So she's homesteading. Like, she makes her own laundry detergent. She does a lot of things like that. So again, I'm trying to work with, she's a little slower to get moving, but I'm trying to get her like, listen, package all of this knowledge you have into offering, because again, she's great at saving money. She has a lot of natural solutions. Just making laundry detergent that is great and inexpensive, just to make a 1-page sheet, that she sold. Even if she sold it for 75 cents on like an Etsy, she'd make thousands of dollars. And this is what we're talking about. So it's really thinking about that. What problem that you have some knowledge for that you could help to solve? And then you just think about, how do you package that? Like, what's the best way? Like, is it like, for this 1-pager is just a teaser. Like, it's telling them the subjects, but I'm not telling them the specifics. I'm telling them the topics covered. I tell them that this is a 7-hour training. I tell them that I can do it virtually or live. And when I'm on a call and we're talking about it, I was like, virtually is cheaper. If you want me to come there, it's no problem, but it's going to cost you $2,500 more. And for me, that's just the aggravation fee, okay? I'm in New York City. To get to the airport and to fight through all of that, it is total aggravation. So yeah, they got to pay a little more aggravation fee. But yeah, it is. So like, or is it going to be like a 1-pager? That Peloton guide, so think about sort of what's the best vehicle to deliver it. Like, some are actual courses. So it's really thinking about sort of that. So that's sort of where you start. What's the problem you can solve? What information you have? And then think about it. And then it's really, you create the thing. Canva is the best tool. Like, years ago when I did this first round of the management course, it was PowerPoint. Like Canva wasn't even a thing. This was 10 years ago. Yeah, probably about eight years ago. Canva wasn't a thing. So PowerPoint is what we had. I created the PowerPoint in I created the presentation in PowerPoint, and that was it. And I walked around with my flash drive and I went and delivered trainings. And virtual really wasn't a thing then either, because this was pre-pandemic. So like Zoom may have been around, but it wasn't being used like it was, when the pandemic came about. And so, yeah, so it was sort of that mode. So what I've done since then, though, because with technology, we want to move with it. What I've done to help, market this course, because it's an investment for a company. Like they're going to spend $5,000 or more, sort of depending on the number of people in a room. Because it's a heavier lift, like, because with the bigger room, I need to do breakouts. It's just a whole lot more involved. So like 5,000 is sort of the base price. But because it is a heavier lift, I've invested in like other ways to market it. But yeah, you start small. You start with that one thing. Like right now, a new product I'm working on is about AI, and really about the skills that AI can't replace. And so it's more like kind of like a mini training guide for employees, like for folks that want to try to improve their skills as best they can. And this isn't to say that AI is going to potentially impact my job, because guess what? If instead of 350 employees, if we shrink to half, then guess what? I'm going to have maybe not equal half work, but my work day will shrink too, because there's less of it to do. And this is what we're talking about, preparing for that. But yeah, so just start thinking about that. Like, what can you do? How can you do it? So think about it. What problem can you solve? What knowledge? Okay, so if you not sure yet, start with what are a list of all the things that you know that you could package for people like me. I know the skills that AI can't replace. And so we're going to train our senior leadership team on that, because, when you start thinking about, unfortunately, if we're in a position of layoffs, you start with the lower folks first and like, hi, boss, welcome in. Thank you for the heart me. Have you all connected, or do you all know, boss, can you put blue hearts? There you go. I'll grab it. Connect with Boss Mitri. He is a fabulous live host. Thank you, boss. And creator. He's a live pro on the platform. And the one thing that I learned, I told you I spent my first 3 months on the platform learning from great teachers. Boss teaches you how to build a community on this platform the right way. None of that follow crap. Truly building community. And as you can see, he comes into rooms. He is a great supporter. Go into his rooms. He's live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely connect with him, follow him, check him out. You will not be disappointed, and you will meet amazing community members in his room. Thank you, boss, for stopping in. We are teaching about digital products so that we can be prepared when AI, guess what, it's coming, and it's going to shrink our jobs, whether we like it or not. So we need to get ready, people. Okay, so think about that. So your homework is think of one of two things that people always come to you for. And if you don't know, thank you, boss, big love. If you don't know how to package it, that's fine. Just write down those couple of ideas. Come back. We can talk through it on the live. I'll bring you up in the panel if you want to talk through, okay, this is what I do well. Not sure how to do that. This is what we do here in this room. We do that. How to package it, and then what that can look like. Should it be a one-page document? It could be a PDF. Again, like that Peloton ride tracker, it's a PDF document. Like I said, she sells it on Etsy for $2. She sells thousands every year, and she changes. There's a 500 ride one. If you really ambition, there's a 1,000 rides one. There's one, like I have a Peloton treadmill too. There's one if you want to track miles. You name it. Like there's just anything that you can create. So what is that thing that people come to you for all the time? That thing, that's what you can package. Create it once, you sell it over and over again. So again, what's the knowledge that you have in your head that you can package? And even think about what you do well at work. Even if it's Okay, so my cousin, she's a customer service manager. So when she and I had this first conversation, she was like, I don't know what I do well. And then as we were talking, she trains people. I was like, girl, like, what do you mean? Like, you know the skills. First of all, customer service, and she's collections, right? So that is truly the art of persuasion. She has to get on the phone with people and convince them to, guess what, pay a bill they don't want to pay. Because if they wanted to pay it, they would have paid it already. I was like, girl, like, you are a great salesperson. Didn't even realize it, you know? So, and again, think about skills. Do this exercise. I call it a life resume. Real simple. Take one sheet of paper. You want to draw a line down the middle. On one side of the paper, you want to write down roles that you have. So not jobs. I want to say your name right. Wanisha, welcome in. Thank you for the rose. So think about roles, not necessarily jobs. So let me give you an example. So I'm gonna go back to high school because I always give this example and it's an easy one. So in high school, I was the editor of our high school yearbook. So that's the role. That's something I did, not a job. I didn't get paid for it. So editor yearbook on this side. On the other side, across from that, what skills did you learn and develop with that role? So for me, I learned to write better. I learned to be a creative writer because what happens is, like, we have photographers, they would just dump 500 pictures on my desk. But guess what? I got to write captions to all of the pictures. Now I don't know the stories behind these pictures, so I had to create them. So like, I'd look at a picture. It was one picture. It was me and my best friend, we were in gym class and we're sitting on the bench because, we thought we was too cute to be running around there sweating. And she's drinking a can of soda. And so I think the caption was something like, clearly sitting on this bench makes Dee Dee thirsty, because she's drinking a can of soda. So for me, that, hey, Mama P, welcome in, that taught, creative writing. So you want to think about the role and what skill. So for me, it taught creative writing. To write better, to organize. I mean, a yearbook is a massive publication. So for me, it taught all of those skills, to even taught me to manage, even in high school, because I had editors that were also writing, and some of the writing was good, and y'all, some of it wasn't. So I learned early on, like, how to give feedback, how to be constructive. So think about that. If you're a stay-at-home mom, like my daughter, she is a master at budgeting. So these are, again, the role is stay-at-home mom. What are the skills? Master at budgeting, time management, conflict resolution, because the littles is running around doing all the things. Somebody's always yelling, screaming, or fighting. And she has girls, so there's the squeals and tears like all day long. But yeah, so think about the roles you've had and then what skills. And then go through that and then think about, okay, maybe highlight the ones that people always come to you for. Like with my daughter, they always want to know, like, how can I save money? And, because she is just a master at it. She is a master at it. And she comes up, like I said, who would have thought to make their own laundry detergent? And I was like, see, if it was me, I'd be trying to get me a deal and I'd be selling that recipe to like Procter & Gamble or one of these bigger companies. But that's just me. She ain't that person. But fine, sell your recipe. Create the recipe that you've made. Make some videos on it, post some content, girl. And listen, if she don't, I'm going to post the content for her. I'll give her little cut and share. But listen, take advantage of the platforms and the opportunities that we have. Hey, Lavette, welcome in. And do that. So Lavette, welcome in. If you're new, my name is Rhonda. I'm a career reset coach. I help people change jobs, change careers, level up at work, and get paid. And we've been talking about pivoting. Thinking about how we can take the knowledge that we have in our head, package them into offerings, courses that we sell outside of work to generate additional revenue streams. And we're all just preparing for, AI changes and advances that will definitely happen and that are coming, so that we are not caught off guard, that we are prepared for when the world of work changes, and it's coming. If you look at Japan, I look at Japan documentaries a lot on YouTube. They have grocery stores. Hey, Society with Sarah, welcome in. They have grocery stores where there are robots in there. Like there's no humans working in the store. You walk in, a lot of their stores, hey, Allie, welcome in. They have like a wristband, and through that wristband, you grab the things you need, you walk out with them. So it has tracked what you purchased, and it's got the payment system information in that too. Here in New York, they have some stores where they've been testing that out for a couple of years now. They're called Amazon Go. Not sure if you have them in your area. Same concept. There's humans in there just in case something goes wrong now. But eventually, there's nobody going to be in there. You grab what you need, you walk out. And it's scanning you. There's an overhead thing that scans you. And, like I've seen that recently. I can't remember if it was BJ's or Sam's, but there's this new thing, or Costco, that they put overhead. Well, eventually that's going to, how the little people like stand there now and scan your receipt and like count your items. Well, it's going to do that electronically. That means that guess what? Those people won't be there, and for me, I think the AI thing, of course, I've been hearing about it. I'm in the workspace. I read articles all the time. It hit home for me recently when I took a cruise for Thanksgiving, me and my youngest. We cleared immigration through a kiosk. And then that's what got me to thinking, like, wait a minute. So if the federal government is clearing immigration with the kiosk, normally you get off, if you cruise before, you get off the ship, and anytime you come in and out of the country, there's, Customs and Border Control agents there in little booths. Well, instead of those 4 booths where people used to sit, hey, Dwan, welcome in, there were 4 kiosks. You stood in front of it, just like I'm looking at you now. It was like maybe 5 seconds. The screen flashed and it said, immigration cleared, you can leave. And so for me, I was like, okay, that's facial recognition technology. And then I thought about New York City, where I am. So I'm not sure where you live, but in every building here in the city, there are lobby attendants, and you've got to present ID when you come into any building for security reasons. There's just too many people here, and everything can go wrong. Even in my building where I work, we have 3 lobby attendants. If I spent $5,000 and purchased a facial recognition kiosk, maybe I might only need 1 person, maybe 1 full-timer and 1 part-timer. And like, these are the changes that we're going to start seeing all over. And then on that same trip, that whole trip, I felt like it was AI. I felt like it was an AI masterclass, seriously. So that was coming off the ship. Okay. Getting on, it wasn't, didn't really encounter too much AI. No, let me back up to the airport. So like, I'm in New York City. I haven't been in LaGuardia in a couple of years because they've been doing construction, and I just stayed away from that airport. Flew to Florida to get the ship out in that airport. Walked in, of course, everything looks different. It looks like sci-fi land. Everything is white. It is shiny. Where used to be ticket counters, there are no ticket counters there. It is a room of kiosks. So, of course, I'm looking around like, well, what the heck? I haven't been here in 2 years. I don't know what to do. But there's a few people milling around to help you. So I took out my real ID. I fed it into a kiosk on my own, and it scanned, did whatever it does. It came out, asked me on the screen how many bags was I checking. It was 2. I put in 2, put in my credit card, paid for the bags. The baggage claim tickets printed out. So I put my own baggage claim tickets on the bag. I'm like, okay, so I'm working for Delta now. In addition to working for the grocery store, now we working for Delta too. I did all that. I put the baggage claim ticket on the bag. Then I walked it over to the little weigh station, which there was only like 2 people over there that were weighing bags and confirming if you need to give them more money, which, oh y'all, I did. That bag didn't feel that heavy when I was packing it. So this bag was 78 pounds, y'all. She said, do you know how much this bag is going to be? I said, yeah, it's over $100. She says, no, you over the over. I was like, what? She said, no, 100 if you get to 65 pounds. When you over that, it's $200, y'all, for that one bag. Yeah, $200. But I digress. Again, I cleared my ID with Delta. I paid for my own bags. I put my bag claim tickets on my own bags. Those were all jobs that humans used to do. There used to be at least at that terminal where I left out of, there was at least 10 ticket agents. There were 2 people weighing bags, and there were probably like 3 or 4 attendants, which I'm sure they ain't making no money. I'm sure they're lower wage workers that are just helping you use the kiosk. This is what we're seeing, and it's gonna get a lot worse. We will start to see. And not that I'm psychic or anything, but just simple math. So like in the country, I'm just gonna give you a little business lesson real quick. In the country, like most of us, companies are either on a calendar year fiscal cycle or they're on a July 1 fiscal cycle. So where our company's on a July 1. What that means though is that we're making budgeting decisions between February and April. So what I anticipate is in April, we're going to start seeing some announcements of layoffs coming from larger companies that are implementing kiosks and AI. And in New York City, I can definitely see facial recognition going into a lot of these buildings and just the scanning of the IDs. You go in some buildings, if they're busier, you've got a line simply because what happens in New York with a lot of buildings, you put your ID you give it to the attendant, they scan it, and then it prints out like a visitor sticker with your picture on it. A computer can do. The computer already does it, but if you walked up to a kiosk and do it, you can do it a lot faster. Like in my doctor's office, we check in now. You check in and you pay your copay on a kiosk. And we're going to start seeing the advances. So I'm really projecting, like, I think some large companies will see some announcements of probably layoffs in April with folks, hey, Deborah, we're talking about AI and the world of work is just changing. Have you all met Deborah? She is all things finance. If you want to know how to save these coins, because our world of work is changing. Good morning, friend. Our world of work is changing, and we're going to need to save all the coins and learn how to budget and save and invest and do all the things. Connect with Deborah if you haven't. I'm going to teach you how to make the money, and she's going to teach you how to hold on to it. Yay, thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, so this is what we are talking about, folks. So if you've been here, you've got some homework thinking about, and if you popped in late, here's the homework. Think about 1 or 2 things that you do really, really well and that people come to you. Yeah, Deborah, I switched. I switched to 6 a.m. now doing my live so I can go across the street in the evening. Yeah. And actually, I like the morning crowd. I have to say, yeah, folks, I used to do my lives at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it was just getting slow. Like the traffic for me anyway, for my room was really slow in the evening. And it was my friends. Hey, Real, I mess up your name all the time. Religious. Hey, Real. I'm sorry. I get tongue-tied with your name all the time. I was talking to Jess Mom, that's my TikTok daughter, and we were talking about you, and I said, listen, I just have to say Real because I get tongue-tied with that. But yeah, I switched my night live. Like I said, the traffic was slower, and it was mostly you all, like my TikTok friends and family, which I love. Because we support one another when we see our live on, we go in the room and we support. And though it wasn't as many of the community that I want to hear served, like you're doing it. So you know this stuff already because you're doing it. And so I really wasn't reaching those people. So, everyone has said like the mornings is, folks are just waking up, and a lot of people are, on lives listening and learning before like they start their work day. So yeah, I just started it this week, Deborah, but it's been great. So you up, girl. You might as well give it a try. But no, this is like I said, I just started this week. I did Tuesday. I wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I didn't do today. I did today. Very engaging crowd. So yeah, before we wrap up and get out of here, for those of you who just joined, my name is Rhonda. I'm a career reset coach. Help people change jobs, change careers, level up at work and get paid. If you look at my content, it's all about interviewing, how to get paid and promoted, how to be seen. At work, you are a brand, and that is a stage. I want you to think about work as a platform the same way you look at TikTok as a platform. If you're here for business, exactly, Deborah. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing shoppable lives on Saturday. I'm gonna be doing Ron's QVC Saturday morning. Come on in and shop with me. Oh, y'all just made a rhyme. I'm gonna have to write that down. But yeah, the mornings. Yeah, so I'm gonna be over here in the mornings. But yeah, it's been good. So again, if you want to change jobs, change careers, level up at work, get paid, promoted, if you're changing jobs, my content is full of that, as well as talking about pivoting, moving into consulting like I do. I've consulted for myself since 2006 and still do. And word of mouth, getting your offering together. Like I showed, one of my biggest sellers that I sell over and over is this management course. This is a management course that I developed at my job to train our managers. And then I've made it my own. And then I market this and sell this to other, nonprofit leaders all over the country, because I can do it virtually and I can do it in person. So your homework is to think about those things that people come to you that you do really, really well. And we can talk through, if you can't think of how to package that, we can talk about that. So let's think about that. What things do people always come to you for knowledge? How to interview your expected boss. Oh, you know what? I haven't done a lot in that. And this guy is always trying to battle. We over here teaching. You know what? It kind of does, but not directly, Deborah. Oh my God, why does he always? Hold on, I'm gonna grab your comment so I can make a screenshot of that, because I think I'm gonna do a series. I haven't, but I'm telling you, I have a lot for that. And not bragging though, but literally, at least for the last 20 years, I can say that every job that I interviewed for, I got. And I interview them just as well as they're interviewing me. So no, Deborah, I'm gonna do a series on that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But yeah, so your homework, 2 exercises. 1, think about all the things that you're great at, that people come to you for. Just make a list of them. Even if you don't know what to do with that information yet, just make a list of all the things that people come to you for. Okay, then you want to do the life exercise, the life resume exercise. Take a sheet of paper, you draw a line down the middle. You want to write all the roles that you have. So this isn't necessarily jobs, because you can look at your resume to speak to jobs. These are other things, like if you've been a stay-at-home mom, what did those skills teach you? If you were a Girl Scout troop leader, like what skills did you learn and build there? And then, okay, why is the trolls just be trolling? Ain't it a little early in the morning for all of that? But yeah, and then think about the skills they learn. So I started with, if you missed my example, I use one from high school, because for me, it's one of the pivot. Okay, see, he's about to get blocked. Okay, if I declined you twice, why you keep coming back in here? Do you not understand? No? Okay, anyway. Oh my God, they're all over. Jesus Christ. Okay, the trolls just be trolling early in the morning. You don't have nothing else to do. We don't do that in here. We don't do that in here. Back to your life resume. Back to your life resume. You want to, like I said, write down the roles that you've had and what skills. So I use being an editor of a yearbook, because for me, it taught me so many things at such a young age. So I was an editor of our high school yearbook. And so, of course, it taught me to write better. And even that was my first sort of managing people experience, because our editorial team I probably had 6 writers. And even with the photographers, managing them, they would be out taking pictures all day. They would have them develop, they would dump them on our desk, and maybe they don't have the right shots. So then I have to go back to them. Okay, hey, these are some good football shots, but I need some pictures of, the quarterback throwing the ball, or the huddle. And so giving them direction. So, this is me at 16, 17, learning to manage people. And probably the most valuable thing I learned was creative writing, because what happens is like the photographers are just taking all these pictures. They just come and dump them on my desk. So I could have 500 pictures. Well, if you think about a yearbook, all the pictures have captions. Somebody had to write those. It was me and my team. So like that was the creative, to look at a picture and come up with a story. Like, would you look at this picture and what is the picture showing you? And then you've got to create the story. So think about all the roles you've had. Like my daughter's a stay-at-home mom, I shared. She is a master at budgeting, financial planning, time management. She's got 3 kids and they're like significant age gap. She's got 16, 11, and 4. So they're all doing different things. Everybody's moving in 3 different directions. So she's a master at time managing, prioritizing, and of course the conflict, because she got 3 girls. So, somebody's always yelling, screaming, or crying. So think about the roles you've had, jot that down. And then we can talk about, think about if it comes to mind, the knowledge that you have, what problem does it solve? So for me, with this management course, how I market it and the problem that it solved is that nonprofits don't have a lot of money. Hey, hanging with Mars. Hanging with Mars TV. Nonprofits don't have a lot of money to spend on training employees. Most of the money that they get, they want to deliver services to the clients they're serving. So for me, I market the course. I will, of course, do it at a for-profit, but I know for nonprofits, that's an immediate problem that I can solve for them because they don't have a lot of money for training. So I can come and deliver this course. And so that's the problem I'm solving. So you think about what problem you're solving and the information. So that's some homework to do that, and do your life resume exercise and come back Monday. So Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Friday, I generally don't go live. Saturday, I'm going to start doing shoppables, and Sunday I will do pop-up sometimes. So generally it's more lighter stuff. So we've been doing vision boards. We've been talking about goal setting, and because the vision board is just the start. You put the vision on the page, which is amazing and awesome. And we want to visualize the thing that we want, because visualizing really does shift. Hey, Main J, good morning. Visualizing does shift the brain, believe it or not. So I'm a nerd. I do all the research. So there is some science behind it. So the science behind vision boards, thank you for the heart me. The science behind a vision board is that it retrains the brain. So for example, on my vision board is my retirement house. I don't have this house yet, y'all. I know where I want it to be. I'm retiring in Charlotte. Good morning, Main J. Welcome in. I know that I'm retiring in Charlotte. I don't have a house yet, but I know exactly what I want it to look like. And so what happens is with visualization is that it retrains the brain to notice and see opportunities and things that maybe you didn't see before. So think about this. This happened with me. I bought a car a couple years ago. I had a Toyota Highlander and I wanted an Audi. And, the minute I decided I wanted it, you know how it goes. Everywhere you look, you see that car. That is how the brain retrains itself. So just think about that. And you focus on something you want that bag, and guess what? You see them everywhere. That is the power of visualization. So there is some science behind it, but that's just the start. After that, then we need to write the goals. We need to set the goals and truly have a plan. And so here's a simple plan. I call it the 1% better rule. So for me, I go hardcore. I'm a 12-week year person. If you've never heard that book, it is truly hardcore. It's in my showcase if you want to check it out. But what the authors have done, their system, you can, Main J, here you go. You can achieve a year's worth of goals in 12 weeks. So if you think about a year, you've got 4 cycles of that. So you could literally achieve 4 years worth of goals in 1 year. It's a system. It's hardcore. I love it though, because I grind. But even if that's not your jam, you're like, girl, you're doing too much. Hey, C-Pon, welcome in. And if that's not your jam, you're like, listen, Rhonda, listen, I woke up, I'm here, I'm listening. That's okay. Here's something you can do that's lighter and easier, but you can still achieve. Thank you for the heart me. I call it the 1% better rule. So it is just doing one thing every day in the area that you want to achieve. So if it's getting healthy, one thing means you took that walk for 15 minutes. You know, you ate that salad instead of that burger. Just doing one thing every day towards the goal, you're still going to get results. So you can go hardcore. You can be a 12-week year grinder, or you can just do that 1% better rule. But you do that every day, you will achieve results. Like I said, I'm hardcore and I got a climb clock. Like I'm 58. I know I don't look a day over 40. I know. Thank you. But I'm retiring in 2 years. I'm out of New York City in 2 years, and I got a whole lot that I need to have accomplished by then. So yeah, I'm doing the 12-week year jam. But there's some areas where, like, now on the working out, I love my Peloton. But like the rest of them, like them weights and them other things, they don't get no love. But I'm going to start doing the 1% better rule. Like I may pick up the weights at least once a day and do something with them. So again, you can flow it, but you got to take action. Creating the vision is step one. You got to set the goals, and then you got to do some work. So we can get there. I know, listen, Main J, I am trying. If you all have not connected with Main J, he is an amazing live host on this platform. If you're new to TikTok, he teaches all things TikTok. He's a live host. And he definitely encourages folks to push that button and go live and truly using this platform for what it is. So if you're a creator on the platform, and even if you're not, listen, we're talking in this room, we talk about pivoting and creating additional revenue streams. Guess what? TikTok can be that for you. I was on here doom scrolling for 5 years before July 30th when I decided, okay, wait a minute. This is a business. So guess what? I privated those videos of me and my granddaughter dancing. Niche down entirely, and guess what? I'm doing a thing. The platform, I've grown my following. Main J, I was just telling them I did a piece of content last week. It has 200K views. I got 1,600 followers from that one piece of content. So niche down, master that content, and use this as a platform. Remember what I said, a platform is something you stand on to elevate. Keep going. So yes, absolutely. Mastering this listen, and Main J, I think I shared this with you because I had a consultation with the creator because I'm not done. Like I need every video, and every video doesn't have to do that kind of performance, but I need at least 1,000 views on every video. I'm in a creator rewards program. Okay. And so I met with a creator whose videos perform in that way. And she basically said, there's nothing wrong with your, and she said, the problem isn't the views, the problem is you. She said I was being the too nice HR lady and I need to be bold and blunt and just put it out there. And she said, I know it's in you, because she said something, it was so funny. We were talking about AI. And she said, so like, why should we care about AI? And I said, I don't care if you don't care about it or not. In 18 months, I'm going to be on the beach in Bora Bora retired. You're going to be, I don't have a job. I should have listened to that lady on TikTok. She said, that's who needs to be delivering content. Okay. Not the nice HR lady. Point well taken. Point well taken. But yeah, so this is, again, use this platform. If you haven't thought about it, think about it. Think about, again, that thing. Like, what are you great at? What are you known for? That can be your niche. There are 1.9 billion people on this platform every month. Use it. This is the money side of TikTok. And going live for me, it's definitely not like I don't have aspirations to be a live pro. It's a platform. So let me just tell you, let me give you some stats. So 223 people have came in this room today. That is 223 people that have had the opportunity to, guess what, tap on my picture. And you all can do this too. There's some freebies there too. If you tap on my picture, tap on it again, you'll see my Stan Store link. You can go in there. There's some freebies. There's some other things that are not free. If you're interested in, you can definitely partake into. And why TikTok be funny? Why get a puzzle when I started talking about my stuff, even though my disclosure is on? They got jokes. They got jokes. Take a look at them. Download I have a career reset bundle out there. Download it. You will actually get to see some of the digital products that I give away. It may spark some ideas for you to create your own and just keep coming back. And I am determined. You are going to do this. We have to do this. And yeah, we're trying to create all the revenue streams. We're keeping that 9 to 5. And even when I'm not here in New York with my 9 to 5, like my current boss, yeah, we've already talked about what my consulting gig is going to look like. So I mean, I'm leaving the city. I ain't leaving the check. And he and I are going to go into business together. He's working on his PhD. Well, let me not say that too loud, y'all. Employees might be listening. But yeah, we're going to create our own thing. But guess what? I still got my again, revenue streams. I still have my other things going on too. And that's what it's about. We are setting ourselves up for digital wealth. We are moving into that era. The work world is changing. Jobs are changing. And please don't be one of those that sit and think that AI, and some jobs AI can't replace. And it may not replace your role, but just you may see shrinkage. In Japan, they have hospitals that robots are delivering the meals to patients. Those used to be jobs. People used to walk around and do that work. In the OR, the robots, first of all, robots are already happening with surgery. I had knee surgery. I had a torn meniscus. A robot helped my surgeon do the surgery on my knee. I'm having a knee replacement in a couple of months. Same thing. So there will be shrinkage, and just don't be scared. Just prepare. Thank you all for hanging out. As a reminder, like I said, go to the link, grab those freebies. I am live Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. Yeah, Main J, I do my lives in the morning now, and it's a nice groove. It's a nice groove. Engaging people, learning a lot. Yeah, because I'm trying to go across the street in the evening. So anyway, thank you all for everything you have done in this room. I hope I have inspired you in some way to think about doing something, even if you haven't thought about, if you haven't pulled the trigger and maybe just don't know yet, but you're still thinking, keep coming back. Ask all the questions you want. We can help flesh out ideas. And the goal for me is just really to have some impact and to get you to actually do the thing. And like I said, once you have that one sale, you will keep going and keep going, creating more products, creating more services, offering consulting hours. I do consultations. That is, think about it. Someone is paying you for you to talk to them and share your expertise. All of us has that something in our heads. Main J, do you do consults? If not, look at my stand store. You may get some ideas. You should do some one-on-one consultations. You start off low, like you'll see mine are really low. Like Misha always says, today's price won't be tomorrow's price. Okay, yes, absolutely. I consult on a number of things, absolutely. And you can book 3 or 4 of those a day. You can make a couple $100 every day by the knowledge you have in your head. So keep going. Have an amazing day. Thank you all for your support. And I'll be running the TikTok streets. Main J, I'll pop in and see you this afternoon as always and show some love, and have an amazing Thursday. And I'll see you all on the TikTok streets.